This happened when I was 21 years old. There were a series of break-ins in my area at this time, and some of my neighbors were robbed at knife point. There were also a few rapes during those break-ins. At the time of this incident, no one had been caught for those crimes yet, so everyone was on high alert. I was actually scared to be alone in my house because I had been attacked in other incidents before and was still traumatized. Unfortunately, I was alone on this particular night. Something woke me up about 1 a.m., and I lay in my bed, awake, alert, and listening. I didn't hear anything else, so I laughed to myself and assumed that I must have been dreaming. I went down to my kitchen to get a cold drink. My kitchen windows have no blinds, and therefore anyone in my backyard can see in. I have a back door light that I always keep on at nights. As I closed my refrigerator door, which is slightly reflective, I could see the reflection of a man peering into my house. He probably climbed over my back wall. I could see him holding something shiny in his hand. I was really scared at this point and wasn't sure of what to do. Do I run into the living room and call the police? Do I start screaming? Do I try to run for the front door? 100 different options flew through my mind in seconds. Then I opened my refrigerator door again, put my cold drink back in, and took out half of a watermelon that was in there. I grabbed my knife from the drawer next to me. I placed the watermelon on the kitchen counter. Then, with the most maniacal and sick grin I could muster, I started stabbing the watermelon on the open half. The watermelon juice got everywhere. I laughed hysterically as I stabbed and stabbed at it, mainly because I was really scared and truly hysterical at this point. With my clothes and hands dripping with watermelon juice, I turned towards the window and raised my knife to above my shoulders. He was still there. I looked him in the eye and tried to smile, but it probably came out as a sneer. I opened my eyes wide, and then with a loud I walked towards him, gripping my kitchen knife tightly in my hands. He ran, screaming like a crazed maniac into the night. His screams woke the neighbors, who shouted for us to be quiet. I never called the police, mainly because I didn't know what to tell them. I didn't want to admit that I would have tried my best to stab that man had he not run away. I slept with my knife that night and cleaned up the watermelon mess in the morning. To the man who wanted to break into my house and maybe do something more sinister, let's never meet again. My mom left my dad when I was 9. I have 3 older sisters. My dad was an abusive alcoholic. He used to beat us all, especially my mom. He would twist hickory switches together and bake them in the oven before beating us with them. My mom finally got the courage to leave him. We stayed in a shelter for a while for abused women and their children. After my mom saved up enough money for us to move, we moved into a mobile home. Our first night in our new place, 2 of my sisters and I were watching TV. My mom was in the kitchen and my oldest sister was cleaning out the bathtub. My dad came through the front door and put his finger to his mouth, saying, We were very afraid of him, so we didn't say anything. He went into the kitchen and said, Carrie. My mom turned around and he showed her a gun. She screamed and ran down the hall towards the back door. He told her if she didn't stop screaming, he would kill the kids too. My 2 sisters and I ran out the front door to the neighbor's house. We told them what was happening, and it dawned on us that our older sister wasn't there. She got there maybe a minute later. When she heard our dad's voice, she laid down in the tub. My dad shot my mom 5 times, killing her. My oldest sister said he went back up the hall calling our names. That's when she jumped up and ran out. I'm 38 now, and he's still in prison. I'm a karaoke DJ. I usually get home between 2 and 3 a.m., but tonight I got off around 11 because the bar had a power outage. I live alone in a triplex behind a house. I live in the middle of a city, but the property I'm on is rather large, so there's a big backyard behind my apartment. As I was coming home tonight, I noticed that my cats weren't waiting for me in the window. They can hear my van pulling in the driveway, and they are in the window every night, no exception. I thought this was odd. Then I noticed that my kitchen light was on. I never leave my kitchen light on. At this point, I was a little freaked out. That's when I thought I saw movement in my kitchen. I called 911 and the dispatcher told me to lock my van doors and remain in the vehicle and stay on the line. Officers showed up very quickly, less than 5 minutes, and they parked on the street and walked up to my van. They asked me to stay quiet and give them my house key. One officer went to the back of my apartment and the other used my key to unlock the door. When he opened the door, all was quiet, and then he yelled really loud, telling someone to come out. I heard the police officer that was in my backyard start yelling, and the officer ran out to join him. My neighbors had come outside at this point, and I was freaking out. It seemed like a long time, but they walked a cuffed woman towards me, and it turns out it was a patron that I had 86 last week. I don't know how she found out where I lived. She was hiding in my bedroom closet with a very large knife and a bundle of rope. I don't want to think about what would happen if I had gone in with her waiting for me. I will be taking a gun safety course soon, but really, before I found this sub, I wouldn't have noticed all the little things that were out of the ordinary tonight. Reading these events have taught me to be more observant. So, drunk idiot that thought she was going to shank me, let's not meet.